I can think all the time you told me not to touch the light. I never thought that you would be good enough just to find how your feelings thought it could be right. 'Cause everything cherished the scars. You're at the end, can you tell me if it was worth trying? Like candy, angels shine the best dreams. Know we'll be alright in time. Waves on the cloud, the comets to see. Know we'll be alright in time. Oh, you never know someone to learn to give. Try as hard, knows the right, keep shadows of the night. It haunts me and makes me feel. How can I try to hide from every breath and every hour? I still live thinking with you. And in the end, everything we have makes it worth fighting. So I will go as leaves fall from the branches and trees. No, we'll be alright in time. Waves on the coast of sea. No, we'll be alright in time. You never really love someone like you. Thought that I would see the day. Then I decided actually was staying. But in the end, what makes it worth the fight? That no matter what happened, we try to make it right. Swing some road from the best dream. Will be alright in Son, your mama is falling. Still so perfect, share some skin. I just shot in us and moments unforgettable. You twist the figure more that I am in. My things just get so crazy, living life gets hard to do. And I would gladly hit the road again and go if I knew that someday it would lead me back to you. That someday it would lead me back to you. That maybe that machine is say it's your baby. It's not Sunday morning. I have my leave. Fingers tracing every outline. Oh yeah, yeah. Paint a picture with my hand. Oh, and back and forth this way like dances in a storm. Change the words are still together waiting. That maybe visions get so crazy, living life is hard to do. There's morning rain is falling, and I'm calling to you. Saying someday it will bring me back to you. Yeah, bring myself back home to you. Maybe she is
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our second free webinar for this month of March. Today, we will have a very interesting topic about career paths that are related to psychology. Alam ko, halos lahat tayo ngayon ay interesado dito, lalo na sa mga hindi pa alam or naguguluhan sa kung anong field ba sa psychology ang kukunin natin. So thank you guys for being with us today. By the way, my name is Ayas Agustin and I am the Vice President of the OMC Psychology Society. And with me,
Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Keisha Baldovino. I am also one of the officers of the OMC Psychology Society, and we will be your moderators for today's event.
but before we start, I just want to ask, how is everyone today? I hope okay naman kayong lahat ngayon. And if you feel sad or lonely, I just want to say na hindi kayo nag-iisa. All of your emotions are valid. So kayo guys, anong nararamdaman nyo ngayon? You can type any emoji in our chat box that will describe your feelings at the moment so that we can see how you are today.
Ayan, so karamihan naman happy. Sana all happy. Meron ding sad. Bakit, John? So guys, when we talk about career, hindi magpapatalo yung mga psychology majors dyan. Siyempre, sa field natin, malawak yung pwede natin maging trabaho. Pwede tayo sa field ng clinical, and educational, industrial, forensic, at marami pang iba. Pero as a psychology major, may naisip ka na ba ng path na tata?
Sa ngayon, since second year pa lang naman ako, wala pa akong naisip na path na gusto ko pagkatapos graduate. Pero interested ako sa field na forensic tsaka education. Ikaw ba, Siyang, may naisip ka na ba na path pagka-graduate mo?
To be honest, hindi ko pa sure kung ano yung kukunin ko after kung graduate. As of now, I just let myself to explore. Tanungin naman natin yung mga participants, especially yung mga graduating. May naisip na ba kayo na gagawin nyo after you graduate?
Oo nga, or kaya sa mga nakagraduate na, meron na nasunod ba yung gusto nyong path nung nagtrabaho na kayo?
Sabi ni Kenny Ubana, clinical daw siya.
Ito meron dito isa, sabi niya naman, wow. Industrial sa setting naman. And si Mark Vincent, sabi niya, educational. So, sabi ni Rose Ann Abis, wala pa daw siyang naiisip na path. So, karamihan parang gusto nila clinical, industrial. Ito meron isa, si Erica, gusto niya forensic.
Sabi naman ni Jeneline Lamusaw, industrial daw kukunin niya.
Ito meron dito nagsabi, kahit saan basta may offering. Clinical for masteral. Counseling. Ito, sabi niya naman, take po agad ng board exam, then proceed sa industrial setting, then advanced education. Okay, so now let us seek guidance and knowledge to our Creator to give us a wonderful and successful program with a prayer in the name of our Lord Jesus. I would like to invite Ms. Maravit Kersula to invoke an opening prayer for us.
Okay, let us pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear God, thank you for all the blessings you have bestowed upon us. We are truly grateful for them. Thank you for allowing us today to meet and share our knowledge and time with one another in this center. May you extend your divine wisdom to our speaker so that she would be able to impart effectively his God-given knowledge to all of us. May she bless as she continues to bring the expertise to people who need them. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Ate Chi. Before we introduce our research speaker for today's event, let us give you the rules for today's webinar. May I call on Ms. Liana Marie Venus to give us the rules and regulations for today's event.
Before we start the webinar, there are some rules and reminders. First, we ask to give your full attention for 1 to 2 hours for this webinar. Please disable your microphones to avoid distractions to other participants. For Q&A portion, kindly use the chat box located at the right side of your screen, and our resource speaker will be glad to entertain your questions after his discussion. At the end of this webinar, we will give the links for our evaluation form so that you can receive your free e-certificate of participation for today's topic. And last, before we end our program, we will request all the participants to open your camera for our photo opportunity.
So thank you, Liana, for giving us the rules and regulations for today's webinar. Moving forward, may I call on Professor Benjamin Lib to give us the opening remarks.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to our weekly webinar series, which is held every Sunday. We have different topics, interesting topics about psychology, professionalism, and development of personality. Of course, with my co-host, Professor Sioson, and our Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Rhea Pleiser. We are also inviting you to attend our future webinars. But today we will going to discuss a very interesting topic about what are we going to take in the future as a psychology graduates. So the topic today will be centered about how a degree in psychology will lead us into a career pathway to industrial and organizational psychology profession. I know that many are feeling overwhelmed in what path of career in psychology you would be taking after you graduated in the degree of psychology. I hope you will enjoy this one of the kind webinar in the field of psychology that will enlighten you what career path in psychology you would be taking. Thank you for attending, and I hope you will enjoy our discussions later on in the Q&A. Thank you so much, and back to you, host.
Thank you, Sir Lib. Now, without further ado, we will turn the time over to Ms. Natasha Epimita to introduce our speaker for today.
Nakamute.
Professor Frances Bell Sioson is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Psychology and took her Master's in Industrial Psychology, a certified specialist in industrial psychology, and she has more than 14 years extensive experience as HR practitioner and expert in handling recruitment, selections, and hiring, training and development, compensation and benefits, also a co-owner of Hein France Enterprises and also doing HR consultancy for private companies in Manila. Professor Sioson has more than 9 years experience in academy, handling different subjects in psychology, such as industrial psychology, group dynamics, social psychology, general psychology, cognitive and biological psychology. Let us all welcome Professor Frances Bell.
Great intro, no? So, naano naman ako sa pag-introduce mo sa akin. Thank you. So, Yan, good afternoon everyone. So medyo madami tayong participant today, no? 100. Tapos meron pa tayo sa FB. So welcome to our webinar. So I'll be discussing psychology degree as career path for IO profession since I have 14 years career in HR, so IO profession, industrial organizational profession. So my topic will discuss or the whole session will talk about the following topics. So I'll give you some tips of every psychology major needs to know. So nakita ko kanina nung nagtatanong yung mga ano no, yung mga host natin, ano ba yung mga course, ang daming nag-reply, nakita ko ano yung mga ano nila. And I expect no na lahat ng nandito or na naka-join is psychology major or nagte-take ng psychology degree. So para magkaroon tayo ng kaalaman. So I will give you also the overview of IO psychology, yung past and the present. So I'll be discussing also the career opportunities or job as a practitioner or a scientist. Okay. And number 4, I'll be discussing or defining masters or PhD kasi nakita ko kanina no, merong nagsabi na gusto niyang mag-take ng masters or PhD pagkatapos niyang mag-take ng bachelor niya. So since I'm also related, I'm 14 years I have 14 years experience in industrial, particularly in recruitment, selection, and placement. I will give you some tips on how to be like a pro in job hunting. So, syempre, lahat tayo, di ba, dadaan sa pag-search ng job, pag-apply, bago tayo makakuha ng job natin or career natin as IO psychology. Okay? Before I start, I just want you to answer the one question. Okay? Pero kanina parang tinatanong na rin to eh. So may I request Rika, okay, to present yung Mentimeter natin para yung mga kasali makita ko kung ano yung kanilang saloobin ba sa sa pag-take ng psychology as a field of study or a course in college. Okay? So, Rika, can you help me? So, bigay natin yung code. Yung mga, okay. Sumasali na sila. Okay, nandiyan na pala eh. Okay. Ano ba yung result? So, mas mataas yung ano ba yung mas mataas? Okay, nagbabago-bago, no? Nakikita natin, I choose my degree because it was something I enjoyed, okay? Merong next, I think I can gain foundation of skills that is valuable to my future, okay? Okay, so parehas yung I can't really think of what career at this point in my life. So medyo confused pa sila, okay? I have no other option or unsure of my future, okay? Okay, mababa yung parents yung nag-choose ng degree as a course in college, okay? Nagpapang-abot na yung iba. So maganda yung mga result, ha? Okay, maganda yung result ng ating ano. Okay. Okay, meron pa kaya?
Pareho yung 41, no?
Oo, parehong 41. May umahabol pa eh.
Yung, I choose my degree because it was something I enjoyed.
Yeah. So, maraming nagugustuhan na, no? Yung course nila. So,
and also, I think I can gain a foundation of skills that is valuable to my future.
Yes. So, yung iba talaga decided na, no? Meron na silang path. Okay. So, meron namang iba, 8%, no? Still thinking or wasn't really thinking of my career sa point na ito. Okay? Siguro, ano na yun, no? Nakita na natin yung large result. So, thank you, Rika, no, for posting yung ating quick questions. Okay? Thank you for participating nga pala dun sa Mentimeter. So, nakita natin na although yung iba or mataas yung range nung mga nakaka-enjoy na nung course nila as degree holder ng psychology or yung psychology degree, meron pa rin still confused. Okay? Which way to go? Okay? Yun yung gusto kong mahikayat pa na pag-aralan or maging excited sa pagtitake ng course na to. Sila yung gusto kong i-convince. Sila yung gusto kong i-inspire. Okay? At doon pa sa mga 42 na alam na, okay? Ito din yung will somehow help you to have a clear path or visions of which way to go by understanding some issues na you need to know about psychology, about career path awaiting for you, yung mga avenues that you can take to get the job or career you wanted. Okay? So I think ito yung dapat nating tatandaan. So meron akong quote. Degrees, psychology degree is like oxygen daw nagda-drop during airplane emergency. Okay? Apply it to yourself before attending to others. So, by anonymous. So, dapat naman siguro talaga na pag-aralan natin, kilalanin muna natin yung sarili natin or yung psychology degree bago natin ito mai-apply sa iba or matulungan natin yung iba on how to communicate psychology in other people. Okay? So, let's start. So, first and foremost, okay, let's go in the 5 tips every psychology major needs to know. Okay? Ika. Next slide. Next. Okay. You're still confused, no, Ate? Okay, next. Okay. So, first and foremost, okay, you need to understand what is a psychology degree. You need to understand what psychology you want to take. Or if you're currently taking or studying psychology, what is the curriculum designed for? And what you want to get out of it. Okay? There are 2 types of psychology degree. Okay? The liberal arts and the pre-professional major. So when you're taking up BS Psychology as your major, meaning your course are not only limited in just one field after you graduate. It prepares you to big skills. You need to do all things, all different things. You can go to a lot of different degrees and a lot of jobs. Okay. While the AB Psychology, which is under the pre-professional major, is designed to help you to get ready for further study. Later, I will discuss to you that. Okay. Next, Ika. Okay. So, 2 types of psychology degree. Okay. Okay. So, I came across this pie chart online. So I don't know how valid it is, but it's basically, it talks about areas of specialization in psychology, meaning in general, it pointed at if you're currently majoring or taking up BS psychology or bachelor psychology per se, and you want to undergo some sort of specialization, it look like the big portion of it goes to clinical psychology or clinical counseling, which is 54%, while others will take industrial or organizational psychology, then cognitive psychology, which is 3%, social um, and personality psychology, 7%, education, 5%, school setting, 8%, developmental psychology, 5%, and other will take 5%, and biological and experimental psychology, 7%. So, yung graph na to will show that we have a great opportunity in applying in IO or industrial setting because wala tayong maraming competition unlike sa clinical and counseling. Okay? Mas malaki yung opportunity natin sa industrial and organizational psychology. Okay? So, let us also define yung career or career path. Kasi yun yung title nung aking webinar, no? So, psychology degree as career path for IO profession. So, let me describe to you the definition of career. So, the Oxford English Dictionary defines yung word career as a person's course, okay, or progress through life. Okay? Yung distinct portion ng life. Okay? It defines or nire-relate ito sa aspect of individual's life, learning, and work. Okay? It is also often used to refer yung profession, yung occupation, yung trade, or yung vocation. It could also mean working as a doctor, okay, a lawyer, a teacher, a professor, or human resource manager, or career also has another definition as well. Okay? Yung career that means staying in the same type of work. Okay? Career can be also um, having one job or many jobs, or sometimes called career path. Okay? Yung career is also includes education, training, work experience. Okay? In your career, you need to think about how can you grow into your job or move on to another job. Okay. Ganun yung definition ng career and career path. Okay. So, paano nga ba natin o how can we choose our career? Okay, I'll give you 5, okay, things to think if you're already taking up or planning to pursue your psychology degree. Now you have to start thinking about how you want to apply your degree as psychology major. Okay, how do I mean about it? So, psychology has 7 hub of science. Okay? Ano yung mga connected different fields dito? Nursing, neuroscience, biology, artificial intelligence or AI, education, public health, anthropology, okay? Nabanggit ko na ba nursing and neuroscience? Okay. Since since it is connected to different discipline, you can have some edge to other course if you continue your study to master's or PhD. You can combine your interests to other interests, to other course, okay, in psychology. Okay. Next is what are the aspect that appeal you most? Okay? Kanina kasama yan sa question ko, di ba? Ano yung nakakapag-encourage sa'yo, nakakapag-inspire to you, sa'yo na mag-study ng psychology. Okay? It tells about something about your interest. and how will you know your interests? Okay, meron siyang maraming avenues. Okay? Malalaman mo yon, kunyari, meron kang professor, okay, you can go to your professor and ask. Okay, pwede silang magbigay ng advice sa inyo kung ano ba yung pwede nyong puntahan. Kung ano pa ba yung pwede nyong i-develop na skills para mapuntahan yung goals na yon. But your professor don't know much about life outside the academy. Okay? But they might know someone who does. So, pwede nila kayong i-refer. Okay? For example, sa psychology, may mga professor tayo na nag-engage sa industrial setting na nagtuturo as professor. Or meron naman tayong mga professor na clinical setting naman yung kanilang korte, di ba? Meron tayong guidance and counseling naman yung kanilang korte. So, marami tayong avenue na pwede nila tayong i-refer. Okay? Or if you're still studying, work in a laboratory or clinic, di ba? Nagkakaroon tayo ng mga OJT, on-the-job training, okay? It encourages you to work in a real life, okay? It work in a real life psychologist. Expose yourself to the real situation. Okay? For example, you want to go in a IO, pumunta ka or mag-OJT ka sa industrial setting, mag-interview ka ng mga aplikante, makita mo kung gaano karami yung nag-a-apply ng trabaho ngayong year na to, paano sila nag-a-apply sa pandemic time. Okay? So, yung real life situation. Ang lagi ko diyang sinasabi is book can guide you. Okay? But actual situation help you understand the real world. Yung wackiest of human behavior. This is what you call or what we call experience. Okay? Personal experience. Okay? Then number 3, what are the subject or things that you enjoy in studying psychology? Okay, kanina tinanong yan ng mga host natin eh. So ano ba yung na-enjoy ninyo? Sabi nyo na-enjoy nyo yung course nyo. Ano ba yung be specific? Ano yung mga subject or things that you enjoy in studying psychology? Since psychology is a nice broad topic of education, okay, in science, literacy, and communication, combine what interests you most. Okay. Combine psychology in your interest. For example, your sports psychology. May sports-minded kayo. Pwede nyo siyang i-combine. Your social person, extrovert ka or introvert ka, so you can combine it. Group dynamics, if you're very willing to go in your team, gusto mong maging masaya, okay, yung pag-handle ng event, so you can combine all those interests. So, number 4 is what setting you want to be in. Okay, start thinking of what setting you want to be in. Since psychology nga is a jack of all trades, it opens a lot of opportunity in many different fields that is connected to psychology. Sabi nga natin is broad education in science and literacy, writing, and communication. So ano yung i-communicate natin? All about psychology. So if your you acknowledge yung setting na gusto mo, okay, kung saan ka gustong mapunta, what career path naman yung gusto mong puntahan or i-pursue, what job you want to pursue. So, apply what you learn. Yung sa inyong bachelor's, okay? So, kung nagtatrabaho na kayo or habang nag-aaral ng master's and PhD, apply it to your life and to your career. Okay? So, to summarize the 5, okay, actually, there's no clear path in psychology. Yun lang yung sinasabi dito sa 5 um, five things na to. Pero it depends on your interest. But usually if you want to immediately earn money, okay, and to help your family after you graduate, ang unang pinupuntahan natin or madali nating avenue is IO profession. Okay, or yung mga HR business partners or formerly yung mga HR entry level, yung HR assistant or HR staff. And if you want to have an edge, then while working, you can take your master's or PhD. There are a lot of different ways to apply your knowledge and acquire skills through your personal or through experience. Okay? Pero yun nga, ang karaniwang um, pinupuntahan ng mga degree of psychology degree is the IO kasi mas mabilis mag-apply ng work and then madali kang kumita and then after na pagka nakakapag-earn ka na pwede ka pa ring mag-aral ng masters and PhD mo. Okay? So to understand better, okay? Kailangan muna nating alamin ano ba yung sinasabi ni Ma'am na IO psychology? Ano ba to? So, let's start with the history of IO psychology. So, first is the Journal of Applied Psychology na first published in 1917. So, along with Applied Psychology is the first textbook in the field. So, yung journal na to emphasis on the publication of original investigation that contribute to the new knowledge and understanding of the field of applied psychology. So, industrial psychology, formerly called industrial psychology, or industrial organizational psychology, is formerly called industrial psychology. Industrial psychology is application of all the concepts and methods for several subspecialties of discipline. Ano yung mga sa disiplina yon? Learning, motivation, yung social psychology, saan? Sa business or industrial setting. So, the field IO psychology originated in United States, okay, in early 90s, okay, through the work of Hugo Munsterberg and W. Scott. So both of them are trained by the German psychologist William Wundt. Okay? While the practical application developed largely to the work of the American industrial engineer named Frederick Taylor. Okay, and it is also known as father of scientific management. So Frederick Taylor believes na the role and responsibility of the manager is to determine the best way for the workers to do the job and to provide yung proper tools and training para magkaroon ng magandang performance yung mga empleyado. So IO psychology grew rapidly after World War I or even in after World War II. So some of the IO psychologists develop yung mga personal selection and training, yung other analyzes yung manager style, yung effectiveness ng uh, effectiveness to improve yung study na sa workplace, okay? Yung moral, yung job satisfaction and productivity na sa workplace. So, it also contribute dun sa human factor engineering, yung mga ergonomics, okay? Yung mga ginagamit nating mga design ngayon, yung such as yung computer keyboards, dinevelop nila yan yung movable chairs para hindi mahirapan yung mga empleyado kapag nag-move sila or nagtatrabaho sa office. Those contribute for the safety and yung mga comfortable work environment para makapag-work ng efficient yung mga empleyado or laborer nung mga panahon na yun. And up to now, dinedevelop pa rin yun. So, um, noong unang panahon din, merong tayong tinatawag na Huntston study. Okay? It was first described in 1950s during the analysis or experiment sa Huntston plant of the Western Company, yung electric company. The purpose of that study is to study the relationship of the physical factor doon sa production ng company. O meaning yung um, work environment, nakaka-affect siya sa performance ng mga empleyado. Tulad ng lightning, yung room temperature, okay? Pag mainit, hindi sila masyadong nakakagalaw, okay? So later, nagkaroon pa yon ng mga ibang studies like yung supervisory style, arrangement of work, group work sa office, yung length ng work, nakaka-apekto yun sa performance ng empleyado. Kung more than 8 hours na siyang nag-work, kung wala siyang break, okay, yung length ng break niya. And yung study na yon ended up na pinuprove yung relationship ng human social factor sa production and performance. Okay? Nagkaroon pa ng mga relevant findings considering yung mga important events or nagkaroon ito ng mga most important events in the history. Nagkaroon ng mga tinatawag na Huntston effect. Ano naman yung Huntston effect? Mamaya i-describe natin yun later. So, na-develop din yung civil rights. Okay? Civil rights. Ano yung civil rights? During that time, nagkaroon ng mga passage ng Civil Rights Act that help develop yung mga procedure na nag-eliminate or nagde-discriminate ng mga sa workplace or nag-a-abuse sa workplace tulad ng yung mga babae, hindi sila makapagtrabaho. Dinidiscriminate sila kasi ang lalaki lang ang pwedeng mag-work. Okay, nagkaroon ng standard guidelines ng hiring, selection, and placement as well yung sa mga firing and training. Nagkaroon din ng study about segregation and delegation of work. So, na ginagamit din natin up to the present. So, next, yung Huntston effect. Ano ba to? So, sabi natin, study better lighting, more regular breaks, or improve productivity. However, when workers see that people show concern to them, productivity arises. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Ano yung naging effect? So, yung observation is that observation changes behavior ng ating employer or yung ino-observe nating individual. Individual modifies or improve yung aspect of their behavior in response to their awareness of being observed. Okay? And industrial psychology was never the same again after Huntston study or nung time na yon. IO psychology has really broad focus, as you can see in the definition of the next slide. So IO psychology today is as defined by Society for Industrial and Organizational Psychology, is a scientific study of working and the application of science in a workplace issues facing by individual, teams, or organization. It conducts scientific method is applied to investigate yung mga issues relevant to individual, business, and society. So, kung ganun, we can see the extreme definitions. But it can also be interpreted in many ways. Okay? Basically, if you're studying employee effectiveness and well-being in the workplace, you're studying IO psychology, right? So IO psychology is also a unique kind. Okay? It is a synthesis of multiple fields as applied to people and in a workplace. So, kagaya ng IO psychology is also related to human resource. Okay? So, if your IO psychology is usually formed as a basis of human resource management. It research yung mga best practices, standard model for employee selection, hiring and placement, training, okay, compensation, as well as payroll, and all sort of roles of HR function. Okay. IO psychology is also related to social psychology. Okay. It is typically study employee working groups. Okay. So social psychology is important and very relevant to employee behavior. Okay. Yung team effectiveness, yung work group cohesion, okay, leadership effectiveness, and all sort of areas related to social psychology. Okay. IO is also a research based on clinical psychology. Okay? Using yung mga psychological testing or psychological assessment to predict yung mga to predict yung employee behavior. Okay. So ano yung mga sample niyan? Yung using MMPI, okay? Yung mga personality assessment tools that is used to see what personality behaviors perform or fit to the workplace in the organization. Okay? So, dito ay pinapakita yung reason why we should use assessment tools in recruitment. So, bakit ba natin kailangan or bakit ba pag nag-a-apply kayo ng work, may mga exam pa? So, may mga reason. Okay? Pwedeng yung test are more objective than other form of assessment. Tests are the same for everyone na nag-a-apply. Okay? It can save um, time for the interviewer. Okay? It allows you to rely on a quantifiable insight. Okay? And it can be strictly job related. Okay? Hindi siya hindi tinetest mo yung nagbibigay ka ng test for a certain job. Okay? IO is also related in cognitive psychology. Okay? It study basically the job perception and observe procedure and practices or looking at workload impact, the ability to focus, okay? Yung looking how can we adapt the most effective training. Okay? Ginagamit ang cognitive psychology. So, based on employee cognitive abilities, you can apply yung proper training that focus on maybe on retention, learning, and memory. All are these are related to cognitive psychology. So, IO psychology is also closely related to business. Okay? Paano? It study business procedure. Okay? It study work environment, kagaya nga ng sinabi natin kanina. Sabi ang mission ng IO psychologists is to see how happy employee uh, tayo inside the company. And this mission, okay, and this mission pointed down to better performance of individual up to the organizational level. Okay? Although yung mga IO psychology is unique in the business kasi because business is more on organizational focus, di ba? It typically measure yung success nila in terms of profit or monetary value or in peso, di ba? Success is measured while in IO, success is measured by employee retention. yung performance ng empleyado, yung productivity ng mga empleyado, yung job satisfaction nila, yung engagement, yung fair treatment in the workplace. All of these things are not directly pointed out to profit, but it can also relate to profit. Okay? Yung mga performance nila. Okay? So, business is also related to IO, or IO is related to business. So, next slide. So, in the next slide, dinifferentiate yung industrial and organizational. Okay? Industrial setting focus on the measurement of job requirement and the individual knowledge, yung skills, yung abilities, yung performance to match yung individuals yung suitable job for them. Okay? While yung organization is the psychology is more on um, theoretical basis. Okay? The application of theories, yung mga methods, facts, principles of psychology to the individual and groups in the organizational setting. Okay? It usually rely on the empirical data and not on the judgmental side. Okay? It means it based on research guide procedure. Okay. So, maliwanag yun, no? So, next slide. So, to summarize yung mga key topics ng IO and the relation of, medyo nagmamadilig ba ako? O okay lang? So, nandiyan pa ba kayo?
Okay po. Okay naman po, Ma'am Ses.
Okay. To summarize yung mga some keys, key topic ng IO psychology and yung mga relation ng dalawang to, let's see this chart. So now that you're here, you see the some coding dito, no? Yung yellow box, yung mga yellow boxes and the black boxes. So, the yellow boxes are more relevant on the industrial psychology, while yung black naman, yung mga black boxes, are more related to organizational psychology. So, like what I've said a while ago, industrial psychology is more on HR function or industrial focus, more on the process, yung tools that we use in managing employees. Whereas yung organizational psychology is more on the internal aspect of employees. It is more of their thoughts process, yung mga feeling, emotion, yung mga things that are not policy designed or policy driven. So as you can see in the flow chart, it starts with job analysis. So job analysis is a tool that is used to figure out what are the requirements of the job. Okay, so it is critically analyzes the task in order to complete the specific job. Okay, so to figure out what knowledge, skills, abilities, okay, other qualifications that employee needs to have to perform the job well. Okay. Job analysis is also informs job evaluation. Okay, or sometimes called JE, okay, job evaluation. What is job evaluation? It is just evaluating the job or to see how much the job worth. It determines the pay of the job or the demand of the job. Okay. Job analysis is also impact recruitment. Okay. So before you can go out and recruit for prospective candidates and try to get people to be interested to your job inside the company, you need to know what is your target. Okay, you need to know what or who is you're looking for based on the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other qualification before you go out and look for a good candidate. Okay. Then once you recruit pool of candidates, you need to select the best people for the right job. So you use selection tools, kagaya nga ng sinasabi natin kanina. So you use tools to predict performance, future performance. You can also develop a battery of selection tools and interview to try to figure out what is going to be who is going to be the best or better performer in the group and will be the great asset of organization. Again, it is based on job analysis, right? So then once you select the best employee, you need to train them. And if your training or if our training fits, okay, dun sa employee and leads to performance, you will have a high level of employee performer, right? So now that performance is also an indicator of now if they are performers, okay, it is also um, inform us training needs. See the double-sided arrow here, okay, in performance and training. So training will be the result of performance. But performance, okay, specifically yung low level of performance is also an indicator that we need to perform some sort of training. So those two influence one another. Okay. So um, now performance at the end of the day impacts organizational level of effectiveness. So if your employee are performing better, you're going to have a better and more profitable organization. So, but just like performance and training, sometimes performance is also affected by financial incentives and benefits. Maybe sometimes it is not lack of training. Maybe sometimes it is lack of incentives or benefits to do the job well. Okay, right? And some can also, in this time, okay, you might have to look for the financial incentives and benefits of the company. Okay? So, indicator din siya, yung performance. Okay? Performance is also linked to organizational psychology. Okay? The reason why it is in the yellow and black boxes is it because both of them are related to industrial psychology and organizational psychology. So let's see the organizational culture and climate. So it is very important aspect of this topic. Eh. So culture is like more on the virtual aspect of the organization. Basically, it tells you about or give you what the organization is all about, yung values ng organization as a whole. While yung culture naman is more about internal aspect or feeling about the organization, how you feel about the value, and if that value fits to you. Okay, and then and that impact the leadership. Okay, yung culture and climate. The culture and climate of the organization will going to set the tone of appropriate leadership. Now, leadership is also related to performance because if you are a better leader, if you have a better leader, your employees will probably a better performer. Then it will tie up to your performance because it is closely related to employee motivation, attitude, perception, okay, job satisfaction, engagement, okay, yung burnout, okay, and how you pair um, yung treatment sa workplace, okay? And those have impact to your to employees' behavior, group relation, yung well-being nila, yung how they act at the workplace, how to get along to their coworkers, how well-being, yung general, yung happiness nila sa workplace, okay? Sa group nila, even health and psychological outcome as well are also related to this motivation, attitude, and perception in your leadership. Okay, so see the double-sided arrow in motivation, attitude, and perception to behavior, group relation, and well-being. This is because they both can impact one another. They both can inform each other kung maganda yung leadership ng supervisor, na mo-motivate siya, maganda yung attitude and perception niya, and at the same time, um, lumalabas ito sa behavior at group relationship niya, and as well being. So basically, um, uh, this chart show the basic of industrial organizational psychology major, but a model. But this is just a general model. It provides to you to show how many topics are related to one another. Okay? Kasi pag-aaralan nyo yan sa IO nyo, yung job satisfaction. Okay? So, dinefine lang natin ng mas madali. But again, there is no study that tests one model. Okay? Maraming mga model pa kayong makikita, pero this is just one of the models sa ION organizational psychology. Ito yung process. So, next slide. So, malinaw ko namang na-define yung chart na yun, no? So, yun. So, next is yung definition pa ng mga task and description naman nila. Although napahapyawan ko na yun sa chart kanina. So, kanina, dinefine ko na yung job analysis, okay? Yung developing employee selection and system, okay? Designing performance appraisal, okay? Sa IO and organizational psychology, ito yung mga tasks na gagawin nyo. Okay? Gagawa kayo ng job analysis, magde-develop tayo ng employee selection system para standardize siya. Magde-design tayo ng performance appraisal. Okay? System din yan. So, magde-design tayo ng system for developing compensation. Okay? Sa bawat job, meron siyang kaakibat na salary or salary range. Okay? So, ito yung dinedefine nun. Training and development. Okay? Magde-develop tayo ng training and development as IO psychologists. We also here to solve talent management problems. Ano yung mga yun? We will help resolve problem related to talent management using yung mga data-driven approach. For example, yung mga IO psychologists may conduct exit interview para ma-analyze natin o ma-survey natin ano ba yung mga causes kung bakit sila nagkakaroon ng mataas yung mababa yung employee retention natin. So ito ay ilan lamang sa mga tasks ng IO psychologist. Okay, next. Okay, so let me define to you um, the master's kasi marami yung nagtatanong sa akin, oh, pagkatapos ko ng bachelor ko, ano na bang mangyayari sa akin? So, ano ba yung pwede kong i-take or avenues to get to have an edge to other applicant. Okay? So, ano ba yung meaning? What is meant by master degree? So, master's degree is an academic degree awarded upon the completion of a course of study demonstrating mastery of higher order overview of a specific field of study or area of professional practice. A degree is given to the students by a college or university, usually after 1 or 2 years of additional study, okay, following your bachelor's degree. Ano yung purpose nun? Ano ba yung purpose kung bakit ka kailangan or bakit ka magte-take ng master's degree? Not only to deepen your education, but also it allows you to contribute, okay, out of the classroom. Okay? Demand for service in education and not for profit. Okay? For your continue, continuous improvement. Okay? Highly skilled master degree recipient, as highly skilled master degree holder, you will able to fulfill those, okay, yung demand for education and services, yung to deepen your knowledge, okay? Um, ano ba or how many years ba yung master degree, okay? It takes 1.5 to 2 years for full-time student to complete the master's degree. But on the average, um, on the average 1.5 to 2 years. But there are many factors na kung bakit nagde-decrease and decrease yung exact length of time depending dun sa enrollment or graduation. Okay? Depende dun sa ino-offer ng course. So, while PhD naman is the abbreviation for Doctors of Philosophy. It is called PhD, okay? Or field, okay, in some countries. Doctorate degree naman, degree, achiever can use doctor in title in front of their names or referred as doctor. So, bakit ba natin yun um, um, sinasabi nila, ano ba yung parehas ba yung PhD at saka doctorate? Okay. So, yun nga, ang PhD is academic degree focus on original research, data analysis, and evaluation of theory. PhD is a scientific degree, okay, that fails or falls under doctorate category. While doctorate is umbrella term for degree or rank, a doctorate program that can be result either a professional or academic degree. Okay? Yung mga professional doctorate focus on applying yung research to a practical problem, yung formulating solutions to complex issues or designing effective professional practices within their field. So, ano ba yung purpose nito kung bakit tayo nag-study ng PhD? To become a consultant or professor or lecturer or teaching staff in a university or companies and become an expert to that field based on your knowledge and your skills. Okay. So on the average, okay, PhD may take up 8 years to complete, yung while yung doctorate is typically takes 4 years to 6 years to complete. But again, the timing depends on the program design. So yung mga subject area you're studying and the yung institution kung ano yung ino-offer nilang mga programs. Okay? So, malinaw naman nating na-define yung master's, PhD, and yung PhD sa doctorate degree, right? So, um, job titles. Next. Ano ba yung mga job titles ng mga IO psychologists? So, aside from IO psychologists, we are also called consultant. Okay? We can be a psychology professor. Okay? We can be HR recruiter kasi this is your first avenue, entry level for psychology degree. Okay? You can also be a research psychologist, analyst, or scientist. You can be a staffing manager. Okay? You can be training or training coordinator. So, kapag well-experienced ka na and marami ka ng mga experience, work experience, na-develop mo na yung skills and abilities mo as IO, psychologist, you can also be a vice president for human resource or vice president for organizational development. You can be a HR director, generalists, representative, specialist, or supervisor or manager in the company. So again, depende yan sa mga educational background and experiences ninyo. So, first, psychology degree can land a job na mas madali. I think kasi mas madali ang IO degree, avenue sa atin kasi it will give you opportunity na makatulong agad sa family nyo. Okay? Magkaroon agad ng first step for a career. Okay? Kung magtitake kayo ng setting sa IO. So, ano ba yung pwedeng entry level or job or career sa as psychology major? So, first, ito yung again, nakuha ko lang ito sa isang job portal recently. So, ito pala yung mga bagong range nung salaries and position na pwede nyong hanapin o i-search kapag mag-a-apply na kayo ng work. Okay. Pwede kayong maging HR generalist. So usually ang mga HR generalist, ang salary range na nakikita ko ngayon is 16 to 18. So as entry level. So ano ba yung ginagawa ng generalist? Kapag generalist, so general yung mga ginagawa mo. You can ask to perform a task related to compensation and benefits, employee relation, recruitment, and training. Pwede kayong mag-assist sa training manager or recruitment manager or supervisor when you are a HR generalist. Okay? So, nandyan yung qualification. So, next is HR assistant. So, HR assistant, particular in recruitment or talent acquisition. So, ang basic niya ngayon is 15 to 19,000. Okay? So, ano naman yung ginagawa ng HR assistant? So, based on the title, nag-a-assist sa whether sa recruitment, whether sa but usually it is more on the recruitment side kasi nga HR assistant for recruitment or talent acquisition, mag-a-attend kayo ng mga job fairs, okay, magka-qualify kayo or mag-screen kayo or mag-source kayo ng mga qualified prospective candidates for that position, okay. So, mag-build kayo ng mga pool of applicants. Okay? Kayo din usually, HR assistant for recruitment is usually the one who will handle the battery of tests kapag mag-recruit. Okay? Next, HR assistant for compensation and benefits. So, very particular, assistant ka for compensation and benefits. Ano ba yung ginagawa under compensation and benefits? So, ang description niya is you will be under yung mga processing ng compensation, okay, yung mga health and benefits, yung wellness ng mga empleyado, yung mga record management, okay, yung mga related sa salaries or compensation and benefits ng mga tao. Okay. Next, you can be also assistant for training and development. Ano ba yung ginagawa nito? Um, you can assist yung mga HR supervisor or manager under training. Okay? Yung magko-conduct ng mga trainings for employees. Okay? Magde-develop or mag-assist sa develop ng mga management process. Okay? Yung kung paano ba train yung mga empleyado on how to do their job well, okay, by training them. Okay? So, ilan lang ito sa mga entry level na pwede nyong puntahan kung mag-a-apply na kayo ng work. This is entry level position para sa HR or IO. So, pero bago kayo makapag-land ng job as entry level for HR assistant, for recruitment, selection, recruitment, talent acquisition, training, okay, and compensation and benefits, kailangan nyo munang magkaroon ng background for effective strategy for job hunting. Okay? Kailangan nyo maging professional para sa pag-job hunt. So, I customize yung strategy or effective strategy for job hunting like a pro. Okay? So, ang number one ko strategy is, number one is to customize your resume and cover letter. Okay? What does it mean? Kasi resume is your main weapon for applying a job hunt. Okay? It is important to take your time to write a concise resume and cover letter because your resume um, is used to make a favorable impression to your prospective employer. And often, okay, the presentation of your resume leaves first impression. Diba? First impression nga last. So without favorable impression, your prospective employer will help you will likely to stop considering you for a job or offer or consider another applicant who provide a better and favorable resume. So when you're creating your resume, purposely create a target resume or achievement resume or oriented resume na nag-highlight to your accomplishment, which is relevant to the job you're applying for. You can ask your friend or a family member or your coworkers, your teacher, your professor, who can proofread yung mga errors ng resume nyo and cover letter. Or pwede kayong mag-ask ng advice. This will save you for embarrassment on the format or grammar mistakes na na-overlook nyo during your preparation for your resume and cover letter. Meron akong experience niya, yung isa kong friend, sabi niya, Sis, hindi pa ako nakakahanap ng trabaho eh. Bakit? Sabi ko, ang tagal-tagal niya na, siguro mga 1.5 na wala daw tumatawag sa kanya na submit naman daw siya ng submit ng resume, pasa ng pasa. Sige, sabi ko, sige, pasa mo sa akin yung resume mo. So, ipinasa naman niya. When I see the resume, mali pala yung email address na binigay niya. Mali din yung contact number na ibinigay niya. Kulang ng digit dun sa mobile number niya. So, paano kayo matatawagan kung mali pala yung binigay niyong information? Tapos antay kayo ng antay at sabi kayo ng sabi na hindi ako tinatawagan. So, para ma-reach kayo ng prospective employer nyo, make sure that your number and your email are correct and um, correct and precise. Okay. So, meron naman nag-a-apply walang picture. Okay. So, paano makikita? Okay. So, may mga ganun na employer. Tumitingin sila dun sa picture nung sa resume. Second, know your career goals. Okay. Sabi natin kanina, di ba, when you're studying psychology, you have to start thinking about this. Okay. Know your career goals. Okay. Start identifying what type of career you want. Be clear of what you want and why you want it. Okay. And start thinking about what qualifies you for that job. This is particularly important for the people who are entering the workplace for the first time. Okay, yung mga bago pa lang or graduating student pa lang. Or those who are changing careers. Okay, kung hindi pa kayo nasa field ng psychology, then try to change careers. This will ensure you to have a clear, realistic goals. Plan how you intend to reach it. Okay. Note that what qualifies for you for that career. Sulat mo na. Okay. The better you know yourself, okay, the better we know ourselves, the more likely we find the job that we wanted. Yung makakapag-achieve tayo ng great satisfaction sa job na gusto natin. Okay? Number 3 is to create a plan. Okay? Create a plan saan? Create a plan for job hunting. So job hunting, I think, is a full-time job, okay, itself. As a matter of fact, yung mga expert nga, sinasabi na yung mga employed jobs now will use 15 hours a week to search for a job. So yung mga unemployed job seekers should double the time na ginagamit ng employed. Okay? So, therefore, you need to organize yourself as well as your schedule for job hunting. So, identify yung mga key points, yung ideal time frame, yung type of companies you'd like to work for, and when will you perform your job search? LinkedIn ba siya? JobStreet ba siya? Indeed ba siya? May trabaho ba siya? May trabaho.com ba siya or other portals that available online. So, next is to search for the right job. Okay? Apply ka nga ng apply kahit ayan, pwede na. Kahit hindi naman ikaw qualified doon for the job. Okay? So, search for the right job. After you identify your career goals, I think you should start to find the job that is tailored to your interests. Use yung mga key engine ng keyboard natin to match yung tong right job. For example, yung mga binigay ko sa inyo, HR assistant for talent acquisition, recruitment, compensation and benefits, generalist. So, yan yung mga key words. Okay? Na pwedeng puntahan. By doing this, you will narrow down yung mga range of search ng criteria. Okay? It will save you your time rather dun sa unlimiting yung mga manual online search just natin. So, use gamitin natin yung mga advanced search options. Pwede nating or pwede tayong mag-attend ng mga job fair. Yung mga social media natin, pwede nating gamitin to search for a job. Okay? Yung meron kasi mga dumadaan sila sa mga service, career services or yung mga agencies. So, ganon. So, next is yung research for your target company. Ano ba yung mga target na company nyo? You want, gusto mo ba yung mga San Miguel? Yung mga type na mga San Miguel corporation? Gusto mo ba yung mga multinational companies? Okay? you have to find your target company. Okay? I-search mo rin yung 'di ba, nakapag-find ka na ng right mga job listing mo that interests you. Now, include naman yung pagse-search ng company background ng company na ni-target mo before you apply. Search for the background of the company that will able you to identify whether you like to be part of that team. Okay? Ang pag-research ng company background will also provide you information that you need to know, okay, about the company. Yung kagaya ng sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, yung culture and climate ng company, yung mga benefits nila, yung salary range, okay? Yung industry type, yung product and services, okay? Yung work environment and other more. It will enable you to tailor it also enable you to tailor your customized resume and your cover letter to demand to meet the demand of that position. Okay? Number 6, use your network. Okay, di ba? Mahilig tayo magsasali-sali sa mga networking. So this is the time na gamitin naman natin yung networking na to. Ano ba yung networking na to na sinasabi? Yung networking is all about establishing a long-term mutual beneficial relationship with the people you meet. Okay? You connect to them. You connect, you network, you contact. Okay? Kapag mas marami kang contact, mas marami, broad yung network mo, it will give you a great opportunity. The more you connected with other people, the higher the success rate na makapag-land ka ng job na gusto mo. And it will increase your chances, okay, tenfolds. Okay? Lalo na kung mag-change ka ng career path. Okay? Your connections can help you connect to the right industry and a right job. Diba? Sabi nga ni Sarah, connections that you don't have. So, yun. So, next is application to with confidence. Ito karaniwan ko tong nakikita kapag nag interview ako ng mga aplikante, whether rank and file man siya, managerial, or yung mga nasa taas na posisyon na. Yung confidence in applying for the position. Kasi most of the job seeker, ina-underestimate nila yung value that they can bring to organization. Lalo na yung mga ini-interview ko na mga fresh graduate, usually lagi ko tong nakikita sa kanila, ina-underestimate nila yung value they can bring to organization. Normally, kaming mga hiring manager, we look for people who are quickly deployed to do the work. Okay? Usually, yung mga tasks naman na yun needed to complete in a regular basis. If you think you can do it, and if you think you can easily learn the task, then accept the challenge. So, mas nakikita ko yun sa mga aplikante by their confidence in applying the job. Okay. Number 8, try yung informational interview. So ano ba yung mga informational interview na sinasabi ko na to? It refers to the conversation between job applicant and someone who works at that company. And um, it's usually the result of your networking. Ano yung purpose nito? The purpose of it is to learn more about the company, the particular job from someone who is working inside the industry. Yung informational interview provides you informations that can help you gain more knowledge about the company. It might be a casual conversation, but if you handle that correctly, you might be one step closer to your job that you want, to the job that you want. Okay? And number 9 is ACE interview. Okay, what does it mean? Job interview will of course okay, or will not agree to you. So prepare yourself well before the interview. Develop yung mga response for common interview questions. Yung, ano yung ibig sabihin na practice them. Okay? Yung ideal mock technique ng interview. Okay? Pwede mong gawin yan sa friend mo or yung network mo or yung contact mo or yung coach mo or yung professor mo sa career. It will give you more preparation or it prepares you for the interview to para maging more comfortable ka um, and you will most likely to succeed kapag comfortable mong nasasagot yung mga question. So, hindi alam ng hiring manager na pinractice mo lang yun. Okay? Then again, syempre, dress smart during the actual interview. Highlight yung great asset mo and great skills. Okay? So, after the interview, you can send thank you note dun sa interviewer. It will give you a nice impression. Okay? And pwede mo din itong i-take na opportunity to clarify or add something na hindi mo nasabi during the discussion or during the interview. Okay? Number 10. Continue to following up to the hiring manager. Okay? Hindi lang basta, okay, natapos na ako sa final interview, antayin ko na lang yung tawag. So, hindi po siya ganun. Continue following up with your hiring manager. When you select for the post, it means you are the serious contender for the job. So, this is the reason why it is important to follow up after a series of interview, including yung face-to-face interview or phone interview, okay, lalo na yung final interview. So, if possible, pwede mong i-collect yung business card. You can ask for the business card ng hiring manager or kung nahiya ka, ask for the name and the contact number of the interviewer or hiring manager. So, pwede ka namang mag-ask mo. And lastly, okay, be patient with your search, okay, for a job. The search for a job takes long than you expected, di ba? In fact, after your interview, the result will take time. So there's yung sabi nila uh, the job with the fastest interview process will take 8 days. And yung slowest is more than 60 days or 2 months. So patient therefore is essential on the process of job hunting. So understand that it is a process. Okay? Hindi siya minamadali. Okay? So hopefully this will give you um, more knowledge about the effective strategy for job hunting, like a pro. But before I end my presentation, okay, end my discussion for today, let us watch the story about a video of a story about the rabbit and the turtle. So hopefully meron kayong natutunan. Rika, can you present yung ano? Okay, let's watch the video.
Wait lang po, ma'am, ha?
Okay, sige. So hopefully yung diniscuss ko, alam ko medyo nagmamadali, pero sana marami kayong natutunan, marami kayong nakuhang mga tips. Yung first, yung psychology degree ang first magiging job, I encourage you to land a job in the IO psychology because ito yung mapapractice talaga yung pagiging psychology nyo in terms of recruitment, selection and placement, sa testing, sa training. You can okay, you can ika? Okay. You can practice, okay? You can ika? Okay. Okay, let's watch the video. Nababuffer ata. Anak? Anak, nagbabuffer.
Ayan po, ma'am. Okay na po.
I think nagbabuffer siya.
Once upon a time.
Wait lang po.
Antayin lang natin si medyo yung video na ipapresent ko is medyo nagbabuffer. Nagpapatulong lang ako sa kanya.
They decide. Once upon a time, a turtle and a rabbit had an argument about who was faster. They decided to settle the argument with a race. The turtle and the rabbit both agreed on a route and started off the race. The rabbit shot ahead and ran briskly for some time. Then, seeing he was far ahead of the turtle, he thought he'd sit under a tree for some time and relax before continuing the race. He sat under the tree and soon fell asleep. The turtle, plodding on, overtook him and soon finished the race. Emerging as the undisputed champ, the rabbit woke up and realized that he'd lost the race. The moral of the story is that slow and steady wins the race. This is the version of the story that we've all grown up with. But the rabbit was disappointed at losing the race, and he did some thinking. He realized that he'd lost the race only because he had been overconfident, careless, and lax. If he had not taken things for granted, there's no way the turtle could have beaten him. So he challenged the turtle to another race. The turtle agreed. This time, the rabbit went all out and ran without stopping from start to finish. He won by several miles. The moral of the story? Fast and consistent will always beat the slow and steady. It's good to be slow and steady, but it's better to be fast and reliable. But the story doesn't end here. The turtle did some thinking this time and realized that there's no way he can beat the rabbit in a race the way it was currently formatted. He thought for a while and then challenged the rabbit to another race, but on a slightly different route. The rabbit agreed. The turtle and rabbit started off. In keeping with his self-made commitment to be consistently fast, the rabbit took off and ran at top speed until he came to a broad river. The finishing line was a couple of kilometers on the other side of the river. The rabbit sat there, wondering what to do. In the meantime, the turtle trundled along, got into the river, swam to the opposite bank, continued walking, and finished the race. The moral of the story? First, identify your core competency and then change the playing field to suit your core competency. The story still hasn't ended. The turtle and rabbit by this time had become pretty good friends, and they did some thinking together. Both realized that the last race could have been run much better. So the turtle and rabbit decided to do the last race again, but to run as a team this time. They started off, and this time the rabbit carried the turtle till the riverbank. There, the turtle took over and swam across with the rabbit on his back. On the opposite bank, the rabbit again carried the turtle, and they reached the finishing line together. Both the turtle and rabbit felt a greater sense of satisfaction than they felt earlier. The moral of the story? It's good to be individually brilliant and to have strong core competencies. But unless you're able to work in a team and harness each other's core competencies, you'll always perform below par because there will always be situations at which you'll do poorly and someone else does well. Teamwork is mainly about situational leadership, letting the person with the relevant core competency for a situation take leadership.
Okay. So that's the end of my presentation then. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you learn a lot from my topic. So I hope na-encourage ko kayo sa pag pag-take ng psychology degree para ituloy nyo ito sa field ng industrial psychology or whatever yung specialty na gusto nyong puntahan. Okay, thank you, Rika and the team. Back to our host for this webinar.
Thank you so much for that very informative talk, Kamse. Sobrang dami naming natutunan sa talk nyo. Siguro naman ngayon, napapaisip na tayo kung ano yung gusto natin gawin after we graduate. I just want to acknowledge our 95 participants. Thank you so much for staying with us. So before we proceed to our question and answer portion, we will have a mini icebreaker para naman ma-relax tayo. May we call on Ms. Rika Feyanto to further explain the mechanics of the game.
So, hi everyone. Ayan. So, thank you for joining us for today. So, ang dami nating participants ngayon. Meron na ako nakita sa FB Live. Galing pa siyang Japan. So, malayo na talaga na nararating yung webinar natin ngayon. So, ayan, bago tayo mag-proceed sa question and answer portion, magkaroon muna tayo ng konting icebreaker. So, itong icebreaker na to, tatawagin natin na Guess the Who. So, ngayon, magpe-present lang ako ng mga crop pictures ng mga sikat na personalities and then huhulaan nyo kung sino to. Siyempre, ang mananalo, magkakaroon ng prize. Magkakaroon ng 30 pesos load na convertible to GCash. Naririnig ba ako? Okay. Na convertible sa GCash or sa actual load. And magkakaroon din kayo ng 20 pesos off voucher from Accessories Apparel if you purchase 150 pesos and up. So, alam kong excited na kayo, kaya mag-start na tayo. Okay, so, para pala sa mga mananalo, happy na lang. 3 winners sa Google Meet, and then 2 winners sa FB Live. So, let's start. Okay. Ay! Okay, sorry. Mali. 4 na lang. Sorry. Okay. Ito na lang. Sorry, napindot ko. Okay, ito. Yan na lang. Yung unang winner natin is manggagaling from Google Meet. So, please chat your answers at our chat box para sino ang nauna. Wait lang. Okay, so meron na tayo agad first winner from Google Meet, si Mr. Kenneth Feliciano. So congratulations, Sir Kenneth. And paki-direct message na lang po yung DOMC Psychology Society to claim your prizes. Ayan. So thank you so much. Tama po, si Liza Soberano. Bakit nandito si Liza? Siguro marami na rin nakakaalam na si Miss Liza is psychology major, di ba? So, talaga yung mga psychology majors talaga magaganda. Char. Ayan. So, let's proceed to our second picture. So, sa FB Live naman to. And a reminder din sa mga nakasagot na or nanalo na, hindi na po tayo pwede sumali para mag-give chance to others naman tayo. So, yung next photo natin is kukunin natin yung winner sa FB Live. So, ito na siya. Ayan. Alam ko, kilala ng mga psychology majors yan, lalo-lalo na sa mga nakapag-take na ng theories of personality. So, ayan. Paunahan sa mga FB Live viewers, medyo delayed, pero sige, okay lang. Okay, so meron na tayong winner sa FB Live. Ayan, si Mr. Ivan Pereira. So, ayan, tama po si Abraham Maslow. Ayan, tama sir, si Abraham Maslow, si Mr. Ivan Pereira. Sa mga ano ko dyan, co-technical teams ko, pwede pakilista yung mga nanalo para hindi tayo maguluhan mamaya pag mag-claim na sila ng prizes. Ayan. Congratulations ulit sir. Please message us na lang po sa DOMC Psychology Society page. Ayan. Ayan. For sure, maraming nakakakilala sa tao na to. Ito, kukunin naman natin ngayon sa Google Meet ulit. Okay, sino ba ang nauna? Sino ang nauna? Okay, so puro lalaki ang mga nananalo ngayon. So, congratulations, Sir Ralph Allen Velarde. Ayan, tama po kayo, sir. Si Marian Rivera po. Si Miss Marian ang isa rin psychology major. Ayan. Congratulations, sir. Paki-PM na lang po yung DOMC Psychology Society page to claim your prizes. Ayan. Thank you, sir. Down to our last picture. Ayan. Kilala ng marami yan. Nice. FB Live na lang ulit para patas tayo. Okay, meron na agad. Ang bilis. Congratulations, Miss Angelica Joy Amante. So, tama po, si Sigmund Freud. Si Sigmund Freud po. Ayan. So, congratulations, ma'am. Kindly message us in the OMC Psychology Society to claim your prizes. Again, thank you guys for being with us today. So, God bless. Thank you.
Ayan, congratulations ulit sa mga winners ng icebreaker natin. So now, we will go ahead to read some questions for Ma'am Ses. Just a reminder, please be sure to type your questions into the chat box right below your screens. So, Ma'am Ses, may mga ilang tanong na po tayo dito. Ready na po ba kayo?
Ready na. Okay, sige.
Okay, ma'am. Ito po, from Google Meet. Si Kenneth Feliciano, tanong po niya, most of the entry-level jobs ay nagre-require pa rin ng 1 to 4 year work experience. Paano po yung mga fresh grads na walang work experience with equivalent to HR positions? Are there companies na tumatanggap pa rin po ng fresh grads na walang experience applying for HR and HR assistant positions, for example?
Yes. Sa tingin ko, lahat naman ng position ng entry level, kahit sinabi pa nilang may 1 to 2 years experience pa yan, kung fresh grad kayo, paano kayo magkakaroon ng experience kung hindi kayo i-hire ng isang company? So I think nakadepende yan how confident you are in applying that job at kung paano mo siya mapag-aaralan, how easy you can learn that job. Okay? Yun yung, I think, yung magiging edge mo. Sometimes kapag ka, di ba, yung mga applicant, ay, 1 to 2 years, wala na, hindi na nila tinatry na mag-apply because kulang yung confidence nila in applying that job na nakita nila. So I think, dapat kayong mag-try and be confident na kaya nyong gawin yung mga task na yon because you are a graduate of BS Psychology or AB Psychology.
Next afternoon, ma'am. Sa dinami-dami po ng fresh graduates na nag-a-apply, ano po yung edge nila or what will make them distinct to be accepted for a job?
Okay. Yan ay na-discuss ko doon sa job hunting. Okay? Like a pro. Okay, number 1, dapat yung resume nyo is customized based on the job that you are applying for. Yung confidence nyo in applying the job. Yung knowledge nyo about the background of the company. That is kung paano kayo, kung paano nyo na-research or gaano kayo ka-eager to be a part of that company or to be a part of the industry that you want to land or to get or to be a part of.
Okay, so ma'am, next po. What can you suggest to shifters in this course since most organizations or companies looks for candidates with years of experience?
Kung paano mag-shift? Ano yung question niya again?
What can you suggest to shifters in this course since most organizations or companies look for candidates with years of experience?
Okay, so siguro ang tinatanong niya yung mga nag-shift ng course tapos naghahanap ng work in psychology type works, ganun ba yun? So tingin ko kung nag-change kayo ng career path, siguraduhin nyo na this is the job that you wanted. Okay? And be confident na kaya nyong gawin yon. And look for the job that qualifies you most dun sa job na yon. Or that job will enhance your interest para hindi ka din job hopper. Okay? Kasi ang tinitignan dyan, kung nagpalit ka ng course or nag-shift ka ng course, tapos baka isipin ng hiring manager o inisip mo na, ay, baka hopper ito. So, hindi niya alam or confused siya parate sa kurso tinitake niyang mga situation. So, ang tingin ko dyan, dapat maging focus ka on your career, kung ano ba talaga yung gusto mo. Okay, and be confident. Lagi kong sinasabi yan, be confident in applying that job to the job that you wanted. Kasi kung gusto mo naman yon, alam mo na yun ay para sa'yo, magiging confident ka sa pagsagot at pagre-research ng company at job task na gusto mo.
Next question po, ma'am. What are the most important interpersonal skills needed in the HRM field?
Okay, interpersonal skills. Siguro yung social skills ninyo. Okay? As fresh grad, ang una kong tinitingnan dyan on yung kung paano kayo mag-communicate. Kung mahiyain kayo, syempre kung mahiyain kayo, hindi nyo ma-expose yung inyong mga skills, inyong mga abilities ninyo. So the first interpersonal relationship na kailangan natin ay yung social. maging sociable kayo. And next is yung networking nyo kasi. Kailangan yun sa pag-apply ng job at makakatulong yung pagiging sociable nyo at yung pagkoconnect nyo sa ibang mga tao or yung pagiging connected nyo with other people sa pag-apply ng job, pagkuha ng information about job and about the company. Okay? Makakatulong din ang pagiging sociable para maging ma-perform nyo yung work ninyo better. Okay? Kasi yung relationship nyo sa iba will guide you. Okay? Yun. So, paano ka mag-i-interview kung ang first job mo is HR assistant under recruitment kung ikaw ay nahihiya na, di ba? Mahihiyain kang magtanong. Okay? So, kailangan be sociable.
Okay, ma'am. Next po, galing sa Facebook Live. Is it okay lang po ba to ask directly the hiring manager about the result or as a follow-up?
Yes, of course. Isa yan sa mga tinitignan namin. Ibig sabihin, very persuasive yung candidate sa kanyang pag-a-apply. Okay? Gusto niya talaga makapag-land ng job na yun or gusto niya talaga yung trabaho na yun. Kaya nagpa-follow up siya. Kaya nangungulit siya. Ang tawag naman, nangungulit siya. Gusto niyang makilala siya. Gusto niyang ipakita yung kanyang abilities and skills sa akin. Gusto niyang makuha yung position na to sa company. So, edge na yon ng applicant. So, yon.
Next question po is ma'am from FB Live. Hello, under effective strategy for job hunting like a pro, number 4, search for the right job. The question is, how can we define a right job if we are still undecided which career path we will take after graduation? Thank you.
Okay. Kahit naman siguro you're still confused, 'di ba? Kung ano yung career na gusto mong puntahan, if you're confused if you will go with your counseling or guidance and counseling or in school setting or gagamitin mo pa rin yan. Gagamitin mo pa rin yung mga sinabi kong tips sa job hunting. Kahit anong posisyon, kahit anong trabaho yung gusto nyong applyan, it's general na you need to customize your resume, customize your cover letter, you need to be confident, you have to have a network of friends that you can that na i-connect kayo sa right job and right position. Kailangan nyo pa rin yung mga maging patient sa pag-apply ng kahit na anong trabaho or career na gusto ninyo. I think yung job hunting like a pro will equip you to be to prepare for the for the position that you want in the future kapag decided ka na kung ano talaga yung gusto mo. Okay? Kaya nga 'di ba sabi ko sa mga unang talk ko, unang slide ko, you have to know ngayon pa lang in a certain period of time, you have to know what you want. Dapat mo nang i-discover ano yung mga interest mo. Kasi psychology degree will give you many opportunities. Okay? Yung nag-iintay sa yung career in the future, marami kang skills na pwedeng ma-develop. At simulan mo na yun ngayon habang nag-aaral ka pa or habang nasa first year, second year course ka pa. So try to invest time kung napag-aralan or kilalanin ang psychology degree. Okay? Kung ano yung piniprepare niya sa'yo in the near future or yung curriculum mo muna, paano ka ba ini-equip nung academe mo or yung academe mo na i-develop, ano yung interest mo pala, ganun. Kasi yung discussion ko, step by step yun, di ba? Degree for psychology, identifying ko kung paano inayos nung course, whether it is in liberal arts or uh, or in AB psychology. Okay?
Okay, ma'am, next po, can introverts survive being in an HR function or in an IO psych po?
Okay. I think yung personality naman na yan ay may um, pros and cons, di ba? Ang pagiging introvert is not naman hindi siya negative. Ang introvert, pwede siyang maging magaling sa pag-write ng correspondence. Okay? Mahina lang siyang i-develop yung social skills niya, mahiyain lang siya. Pero ang kanyang written skills, maganda. So, dapat, kailangan mo lang i-develop yung iyong sarili. Kailangan mo ring i-develop yung pagiging introvert mo. Okay? I-develop mo siya in a positive way. Okay? Kung mahina ka sa socialization kasi hindi ka extrovert, baka merong ibang avenue sa'yo. Mag-write ka ng respondents, pwede ka sa training, ano yung mga, pwede kang mag-write ng policies and procedure, okay, sa company. So, pwede ka pa rin makapag-land ng job sa IO or sa HR. But try also to develop yourself socially or try to develop your personality na extrovert naman.
Next
Nade-develop
question.
naman.
Next question from Mariel Antonio. What to do if the interests of the employees contradict with the interests of the company? Example sa sweldo. Ang interest ng M is a sustainable living wage while ang interest ng company ay profit lang. Kaya mababa sila magpasweldo.
Okay. So, kagaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, may dalawang aspect ang industrial psychology and organizational psychology. Ang organizational psychology focus on thoughts, feelings, and emotions ng employee, while the industrial psychology is more on policy-driven. So, ang policy-driven ng company is to give you that rate for a particular job, okay? But yung personally, ang basis mo is yung hindi na siya economic para sa'yo. So you decide whether you will stay in a company or you will find another or you will find or change your career path inside the company na medyo economically suitable para sa'yo. Kasi based yan sa positions or sa experience mo o kaya ang basic dyan is to talk to your manager na eto yung aim mo, okay? Eto yung expected mo, okay? Eto kasi yung para malaman mo rin kung ano yung balak ng company, okay? Para sa'yo. So, kausapin mo yung manager mo or yung supervisor mo about the path of the company and bring your expectation din sa kanya para magkaroon kayo ng tugma, baka may offer siyang ibang avenue para sa'yo. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Next po, what is the downside of using the internet to recruit applicants for a job?
To recruit. So, HR siguro, nasa HR na siguro siya. So, ang downside niya, ang dami kasi. Okay? Ang daming nag-a-apply. And some of the applicants, apply lang siya ng apply. Kasi nga, hindi niya alam yung job hunting like a pro. Apply siya lang ng apply. Okay? So, ang tinitingnan lang siya is yung kung sino yung kung sino yung naka-customize, okay? Again, yung customize and doon sa job na yon. Yung fit, yung tailor fit dun sa skills, okay? Dun sa abilities, dun job requirement and qualification, yun lang yung titingnan ng hiring manager. So, doon mo lang ililimit yung iyong qualification doon sa ni-require ng job analysis mo. Kung ano lang yung require ng job.
Next question, ma'am. What is the edge or difference of psychology graduate to human resource graduate in applying job?
Okay. Psychology degree is since nga tayo pinag-aaralan natin ang human behavior. Okay? Human behavior, attitude, feelings. Okay? Kapag ka nag-apply tayo, kilala na natin kung bakit, kung ano yung history, kung bakit siya naging ganun. Mas madali tayo. For example, you applied for HR assistant in recruitment. So pag nag-interview ka ng applicant, alam mo na, okay, ang basis pala niya, nanggaling siya sa isang um, low profile wait. Nanggaling siya sa mahirap na family, pero masipag siya. Okay? Pero masipag siya. Yun yung nire-require ng job ko na yun. So, ano yung kailangan ng job? Kailangan ng masipag na applicant. So, lahat ng masipag na applicant, ito yung kukunin ko. So, nako-qualify mo na siya. Ito, easy-go-lucky siya na applicant. So, pag nagbigay ako sa kanya ng task, hindi niya yon magagawa kasi nga, wala siyang meant for timeline. Wala siyang urgency of work. So, alin ang pipiliin mo? So, madali na nating nakikita yon as psychology major. Sa human resource managing kasi, more on policy driven. Yung policy na kung paano ayusin yung work sa inside the company, ano yung mga management na gagawin, systematic profiling ng company, yun yung nakafocus yung human resource management. So, yung policy driven sila. Okay?
Okay po, ma'am. Next. What is the edge or difference of psychology graduate to human resource graduate in applying job?
Okay? Yan yata yung sinagot ko kanina.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ito, ma'am. Next pala. Ano po ang pwedeng maging advantage ng psych graduate sa HR management graduate if applying for a human resource position?
Okay, parehas lang naman sila, di ba? So, ang pinagkaiba lang nila, we are more on the behavior side. Nakikita na natin yung mga prospective performers, attitude, and behavior ng isang applicant, while the human resource is more on the management skill, the policy-driven type ng management or ng pagtingin sa bawat aplikante. Ganun naman sila. Okay, that's our edge. Nakikita na natin or na-evaluate na natin yung mga applicant based on their behavior, based on the resumes, based on how will they perform.
Next question po, ma'am. Mr. Sonny J. Bautista, you can turn on your mic po for your question.
Okay po, thank you po. Can I have a question? Can I ask a question po?
Yes,
How do the factors that influence a person's career choice impact their success once they have a job po?
Okay. Yan yung sinasabi ko na kapag dapat mag-research kayo ng career job na gusto ninyo, dapat alam nyo na what is the career, dapat meron na kayong vision, what is the career path. Because kung makakapag-land kayo ng job na gusto nyo, you will be successful. You will enjoy yung job na napuntahan nyo at magpe-perform na yun. Kasi nga kagaya ng pinaliwanag ko, yung behavior, yung motivation, yung perspective, okay, sa job, will contribute to your performance. Kasi magkakaugnay yun.
Yes po. I have another question po.
Thank you, Sunny. Yes po.
Should the mindfulness construct be conceptualized differently in the workplace po?
Mindfulness of the
mindfulness construct be the conceptualized differently in the workplace po?
Mindfulness, what?
Hindi ko
Mindfulness po construct be the conceptualized differently in the workplace po.
I think dapat lang, 'di ba, na alam mo na yung mindset mo, alam mo na yung kasi 'di ba pag mag-a-apply ka ng work, you know the functions, ano yung task, ano yung culture and climate ng company na pupuntahan mo. So siguro importante siya, okay, in applying the job. I'm sure na magpe-perform ka din kung alam mo na yung mga job requirement na yon.
Okay po, thank you. My last question po.
Okay, Sunny.
Why should we attempt to enhance the level of teamwork and cohesion at the organization po?
Because those traits, okay, yung behavior nyo sa sa organization will give you a high performance, 'di ba? So kapag okay yung iyong pagwo-work sa team, okay, ibig sabihin yung teamwork maganda. So, kapag maganda yung teamwork, yung behavior nyo, yung group relation, yung well-being mo, yung motivation mo to do the task, okay? Yung attitude mo towards your coworker, yung perception mo about the task and the work, magiging maganda, di ba? And what will bring that? Yung performance level ng team. At kapag mataas ang performance ng team, ano magiging makikita ng management? Performers. Kapag may performers, anong makikita? Bibigyan kayo ng extra credit. Kapag meron kayong credit, okay, di ba mataas ang profit ng company. So, mas mabibigyan kayo ng mas mataas na incentive or benefits. So, siguro mahalaga yung inyong team collaboration and group relation sa group sa inside the organization.
Okay po, thank you po.
Thank you, Sunny.
Po ako psychology major. Ano po ako? Behavioral sciences po ako.
Okay. Pero ano din yan, connected din yan sa psychology. Right?
Logical and sociological po kasi. Multidisciplinary po kasi. Yes po.
Okay.
Thank you po.
Sige. Thank you, Sunny Bautista, for the question.
Okay, and for our last question po, Ma'am says, how does HR support employees?
Okay. So, CHR kasi is the middle of the organization and the employee. So, habang CHR, tinutulungan niya si organization to develop yung mga yung good business, okay? Good business or company, yung organization. Gina-guide din niya si employee or tinutulungan din niya si employee to be part of that organization. Okay? So, para maging kasabay. So, para maging kasabay ng organization, lumago. Okay? As individual, as a group, and as a team. Okay? So, kasi sa organization, hindi naman mabubuhay ang isang organization kung wala siyang empleyado. So, mahalaga ang empleyado sa isang organization. At the same time, mahalaga din naman sa employee ang organization kasi dito siya kumukuha ng profit. So, ng salary. So, ng ikabubuhay. So, dapat pareha silang tinutulungan ni HR. So, si HR is the middleman of the organization and the employee.
It looks like we've covered all of our questions po. Ma'am says, is there anything else you wanted to say or promote before we wrap up?
Okay, siguro okay na ako. So hopefully
nakatulong ako dun sa mga still confused and still want to pursue yung degree nila sa psychology at ma-encourage ko kayo or na-encourage ko kayo to take IO psychology kasi kailangan na kailangan ngayon natin ng mga IO psychologists lalo na ngayon pandemic. So kailangan nating tulungan yung organization yung mga industry sa industrial setting para mabuo ulit yung ating economy. So, yun lang. Thank you very much sa lahat ng nakinig at nagstay sa atin at sumali sa webinar na ito. Thank you, Kisha and Aika and Ayesha.
Thank you, Ma'am Ses. Okay, now let's proceed to the awarding of certificate to our resource speaker for today's event. May I ask Professor Benjamin Lim to award the certificate to our resource speaker?
The Ocampo Memorial College, Psychology Department, award this certificate of recognition to Professor Francis Bell Sioson, MA CSIOP, for sharing her knowledge, the speaker at the webinar today, entitled Psychology Degree, a Career Path to IO Profession. Given this 21st day of March 2021 via Google Meet, signed by Yoshi Ms. Rika P. Yanto, President of Sex Society, BOMC, and our beloved Dean, Dr. Yaya Kaiser, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Thank you so much, Mrs.
Thank you, Sir Ben. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Sir Ben. Before we end, let me call on Ms. Rose Anlabis to announce the evaluation form for you to have your free certificates.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. The link are now posted at the chat box. Kindly fill out the evaluation form for you to get the free e-certificates, and please make sure that you put your full name and correct email address to avoid any errors. Again, thank you for being with us through the whole webinar. Thank you.
May we request our participants documentations. Technical teams, pakuhanan naman po.
Ako na lang, wait lang.
Okay.
Kindly open all of your cameras po para po sa photo opportunity natin. Ayan. So, 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you. Thank you po.
Thank you so much. And now, in behalf of our Dean, may I call on Professor Benjamin Lim for closing remarks.
Okay, thank you, Kesha. So, in behalf of our Dean, Rhea Pfizer, I would like to thank you all for joining us today. Perhaps you know that psychology as your chosen careers as a bachelor degree will bring you to professional level of development, both personal and career-wise, in industrial and organizational psychology, as future HR, and maybe in other allied professional fields. Leaving behind your decisions to you, how would you develop yourselves, both personal and career-wise? Pursuing every step towards a career in the ladder of success in IO will certainly make you experts in human resources, organizational development, industrial relations, and the many facets of HR and other related fields in the IO psychology. Hoping that you now gain more knowledge and understanding about psychology as well as its path towards, particularly in the field of the IO psychology. all the best in your future careers. Good afternoon, and we would like to invite you to join us again on next Sundays. We will going to have our free webinar, and of course, you will have your free e-certificates. Thank you so much, and good afternoon.
Yeah, here in our webinar. Next month, we will have another two upcoming webinars, and I hope to still see you there. Don't forget to please free webinar updates. I hope to see you again in our future webinars. Once again, I am Ayas Agustin.
And I am Keisha Baldovino. Thank you again for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Bye!
Bye!
Joining us today.
Salamat po.
Thank you po.